Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Hockey Talking. My name is Clay. Thank you for tuning in. We got a number of topics to talk about in this video, and we're going to talk about all of them, good and bad. Some news-related items about the Chicago Blackhawks, because, this is what we got to talk about instead of, the playoffs that are going on right now. The conference finals with the Montreal Canadiens, who are up 2-1 right now in Game 6, looking to punch their ticket into the Stanley Cup Final, which is right around the corner. Can't we just be excited for that? No, can't. We got to talk about these other things, because of course we do. Anyhow, like I said, we're going to talk about all these topics, good and bad, regarding the Blackhawks, who didn't make the playoffs, who are in their offseason, who shouldn't be in the news right now, but they are. So we're going to start with the most important topic of them all, and that is me getting a new putter. Yes, look at this bad boy. Oh, weights on the bottom. Look at that finish, though. Oh, what a finish. It's a Mizuno M-Craft 2 putter, blade putter. Oh, milled face. I don't know if you can see that well. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Still got to slap a fat grip on that, but man, I'm going to be three-putting in style pretty quickly here. But seriously, let's actually talk about the serious topics at hand here. And we're going to start off, of course, with the bad news first. So if you weren't aware, or you just need a refresher, there were 2 lawsuits filed in the month of May. 2 lawsuits against the Chicago Blackhawks organization, claiming that former video coach Brad Aldrich sexually assaulted players. First lawsuit was by a former Blackhawks player, saying that Aldrich assaulted him during the 2010 season, the season where the Blackhawks won their first of their 3 Dynasty Cups. And I want to make this clear here. I'm just kind of saying that as a reference point in terms of timing. I think it's important to separate, team accomplishments, Stanley Cup victories from these lawsuits and allegations. Otherwise, I think you're muddying the waters a little bit. So try and separate those things out as best you can. And then the other lawsuit was by a former high school hockey player in Michigan who was being coached by Aldrich. And this was a couple years after Aldrich left the Blackhawks organization. Aldrich ended up being convicted of sexual assault. He's on the sex offenders list back in 2013. So, these allegations are not far-fetched at all here. It seems like they're probably true. But at the same time, these lawsuits were filed in May. We're still pretty early in on this process. We've really only heard from the victim side. We don't really know a whole lot about this. There's been some reports that have come out talking about it, but we haven't heard anything really from the Blackhawks. We haven't heard anything from the NHL or the NHLPA, which seems like maybe they also knew about this. So we're very early on here. I know it's very easy to say, hey, heads need to start rolling, guys need to get fired right now. I think it probably will come to that eventually, but right now, at this point in time, I'm the type of person who just I want things to play out. I try to trust the justice system a little bit. Obviously, this is not a good look. This doesn't sound good. It doesn't. If I had to guess, I would probably side that this is something that probably did happen, and things need to be fixed here. But at the same time, that's a dangerous game to play, especially when you don't have all the information. Now, there are reports about, Blackhawks knew about it, or this was, raised to, upper management of the Hawks. There's a meeting, and it was an open secret, whatever that means in the Blackhawks organization. Who all knew about this? We aren't really sure, Was this part of why John McDonough was fired last year? Did Stan Bowman know about this? Did Joel Quenneville know about this? Did Mark Bergeron, who was the director of player personnel at the time, did he know about this? He is, the GM of the Montreal Canadiens, who are, on the verge of possibly making the Stanley Cup final. So not great timing for him if he knew about this. Not great timing at any time for anything about this, but I'm trying to. I try not to, I don't own a jump to conclusions, Matt. I try not to just straight, every allegation that's ever made, oh, that's definitely true, because that's a dangerous game to play. But like I said, I would be surprised if this stuff wasn't true, unfortunately. That's the side I would side on, if I had to guess. But at the same time, it's not really good enough. This is a serious matter, and this needs to actually be, investigated, and we just need more information. But right now, not a good look for the Blackhawks, not a good look for the NHL. There are some concerning things right now, and eventually, we could see some heads roll. And if, this allegation, these lawsuits turn out to be, truthful, things need to change, and quickly. We'll see what happens. In other bad news, but not nearly as serious of bad news, it's been announced that this upcoming season will be Patt Foley's final season calling Blackhawks games. Just straight up end of an era, a long era. He's been the voice of the Blackhawks for 39 years, longer than I've been alive. Really all I've known. And I'm sure most of you are probably in that same boat. Yeah, it's sad to see, sad to hear. His contract was ending after next season, and Blackhawks aren't going to be renewing it. So, this is it. One final ride. And thankfully, it's going to be, crossing our fingers here, it's going to be a full 82-game season. So that's kind of nice. He'll get a full season, and hopefully they'll be back to, traveling with the team instead of, recording from the United Center for all away games and stuff like that. And hopefully, maybe, Blackhawks can make the playoffs and extend his announcing a little bit. We'll see. But, end of an era. Tough to hear, tough to see. But, these things happen. Father Time is undefeated, right? And I'm not saying he wouldn't be able to do it anymore and is too old or whatever. But, he's getting up there in age. He's getting to that point where, times come to an end. And it's something I'm kind of not looking forward to with, I know you guys are not going to be happy hearing this, but I'm a Brewers fan, and thinking about Bob Uecker no longer announcing games. It's going to happen at some point, but you just don't want it to ever happen. But it's happening with Patt Foley, and just enjoy it while it lasts this upcoming season. I know, he made some gaffes this previous season, things he said, and which weren't good. But I don't think that played any part of him, not coming back. I think it's just time, and Hawks, find a replacement. Hawks, hey, I've never announced the game, but if you need someone, I'll fill in. I'll try my best. I'll do it. But we'll see. We'll see who ends up replacing him. I'm sure they'll find someone good, but there's nobody that can actually replace Patt Foley. Moving away from bad news now, I'm not really one that likes to talk about rumors all that much, but considering I'm just touching on a bunch of different topics in this video, I figured might as well give my opinion on this particular rumor. But there's been reports saying that the Blackhawks might be, in the sweepstakes for Jack Eichel. I don't think that's happening. I just don't see it happening. Kane and Taves have 2 more years left on their deals this year and 1 more year after that. If the Blackhawks would get Eichel, that would mean they would have 3 players making over $10 million. And, I mean, that's just a lot. For a team that's, fairly up against the cap. And considering that offense really isn't the issue for the Blackhawks, defense is, I don't see that really. I mean, I can't say having Jack Eichel come to your team won't help your team, but I don't think it's going to move the needle all that much in terms of making this team a contender, right? Which is what you ultimately want to be. And then in addition to that, like what you'd have to, or what the Blackhawks would have to give up to get Eichel, like I just don't think that's worth it. I just don't see it happening. But like I said, I don't really like talking about rumors because 99% of rumors that get thrown out there don't happen. So I think this is another one of those. But like I said, I figured might as well touch on it while covering a bunch of topics here. And then finally, some news came out regarding the Seattle expansion draft, which is coming up in a little under a month now. July 21st is when that takes place. A couple Blackhawks contracts have been deemed exempt from that draft. Andrew Shaw, Brent Seabrook, and also Alex Nylander, who a lot of mock drafts or mock protection lists, including my own, have had Alex Nylander is a player that the Blackhawks would be protecting. But considering that now he is going to be exempt from the expansion draft because he missed all of this past season, Blackhawks don't have to worry about protecting him anymore. So they can go ahead and use that spot for some other forward, potentially Adam Gaudette, or maybe David Kampf, or Brett Connolly, or who knows, maybe even Vinny Hinostroza, although I don't think that'll happen. But you get what I'm saying. The Blackhawks now get kind of a spot. This is good news for the Hawks in terms of like they get to protect another player who they may not have thought they would, were going to be able to protect. So good news there at least. So yeah, finishing on some good news, which is always the point. But yeah, a lot of things talked about in this video. Some really bad, some good. Let me know your thoughts on any and all of them down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate that as always. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.